When I was 8, my father told me he was going out to get groceries. He never came back. We waited for hours, then days, then years. What we didn't know was that he hadn't gotten lost. He had replaced us. But what hurt the most wasn't that he left. It was that he didn't look back, not once, until he needed us. This is the story of how my father abandoned us and came crawling back years later when his perfect new life collapsed. But by then, we had changed. I had changed. And I wasn't that little girl waiting by the door anymore. My name is Alina. I was what you'd call a daddy's girl. He used to braid my hair, pack my lunch, read me bedtime stories in a silly pirate voice. Mom always said he was the fun parent, the one who'd turn the living room into a pillow fort and sneak us ice cream before dinner. Back then, we looked like a happy family. But that's the thing about appearances. They're just paper walls. One good storm, and everything collapses. The storm came on a Tuesday. I remember hearing shouting from my room. Mom's voice tired and breaking, Dad's cold and distant. Then the front door slammed. I waited on the stairs, thinking he'd come back and tuck me in. But he didn't. The days after he left were quiet. Too quiet. No more silly voices. No more backseat car rides with loud music. No more Dad. I used to stare at the door, thinking maybe he'd realize what he lost and walk back in. He never did. He found out through a neighbor that he moved in with another woman. She had kids, 2 little boys, younger than me. Photos surfaced on Facebook. Him at the park with them, smiling, carrying them on his shoulders like he used to carry me. I stared at that picture for hours. Mom cried in the kitchen. I cried in my room. Then one day, I stopped crying and started pretending he didn't exist. Mom worked 2 jobs. She'd come home exhausted, barely able to stand. But she always checked my homework. Always made sure I had warm food. Always showed up for every school recital. Two became both parents. I remember asking her once, "Why didn't you make him stay?" She smiled, tears in her eyes. "Because I'd rather have no husband than a half-hearted one." Those words stuck with me. Because, even though he left, she stayed. She fought. She loved me harder. And that kind of love, that's real. Then, 9 years later, a knock on the door. I opened it. And there he was. Same eyes. Older face. But not the man I remembered. He looked small. "Hi," he said. Mom stepped out. Stared at him, like he was a ghost. She asked. He looked down at his feet. "She left me," he muttered. "I got laid off. I don't have anywhere to go." Silence. I waited for Mom to slam the door. But she didn't. She let him in. Not because she forgave him, but because she was kind. She stayed on the couch, tried to act like nothing had changed, made breakfast, told lame dad jokes. But I couldn't forget. Not the birthdays he missed. Not the tears Mom cried when she thought I was asleep. One night, he sat me down. "Selena, I made a mistake. I chose the wrong path. I thought I was chasing happiness, but I lost everything." I looked at him. Really looked. "You didn't just lose everything," I said. "You threw it away." He started crying, but I didn't feel sorry for him. I felt sorry for the little girl who waited by the door for a dad who never came. Mom gave him 2 weeks to get back on his feet. I avoided him when I could. But one day, I saw him sitting at the kitchen table, holding a photo of me as a baby. He whispered, I missed everything. And for a split second, I saw the dad I used to love. But then I remembered. Love isn't just memories. It's presence. It's effort. It's showing up even when it's hard. And he didn't. He left again. Not because we pushed him, but because he knew the truth. He wasn't part of this family anymore. Not because of time, not because of mistakes, but because he only showed up when it benefited him. We moved on. Mom eventually met someone kind, someone who stayed. As for me, I stopped waiting for people to come back, because the people who truly love you, they never leave in the first place. Don't let anyone walk in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve love that stays, even when it's inconvenient, because real family is not who shares your blood. It's who chooses to stay.